Tonight, a potential diplomatic breakthrough as Israel and Hamas agree to a first phase of a Gaza peace deal.
They're smart, but they're not smart enough.
The first clue delivered in an urgent message.
Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State.
How it all came together and what's next.
1-2 pitch. Got him!
Jubilation for Jays fans after the team clinches the series against the Yankees in the Bronx and takes a step closer to the World Series. And a life-saving Canadian first.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news.
How doctors performed a groundbreaking transplant with a donor heart that had stopped beating.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening. We are tracking two very different breaking news stories as we come on the air tonight. A potential peace deal in the Middle East and a major triumph for the Toronto Blue Jays in New York, which is where we begin. For the first time in nearly a decade, the team will be advancing to the American League Championship Series after a massive victory.
A 1-2 pitch. Got him! Jeff Hoffman strikes out Cody Bellinger, and the Blue Jays have done it.
They certainly did. The Jays started strong and carried that momentum, knocking off the New York Yankees with a 5-2 win. The fan base can now celebrate a long-awaited Blue Jays playoff series win. The Jays' next opponent, the winner of the Detroit-Seattle series. Back in Toronto, Jays fans are overjoyed.
It was the Yankees they beat in 1985 for their first ever division title. So it's kind of cool that they're beating them again here this year, and hopefully they go all the way to the World Series.
I just want to rekindle the World Series I was at 92-93. And it's really bringing Toronto's positivity and vibe, all the unity across Canada.
And CTV's Sean Leathong joins me now from inside Yankee Stadium in New York. And you're in the thick of those celebrations right now, Sean. You might need to change your clothes after the party that you've just been in. What's it like down there?
Well, it's absolutely worth it, Omar. And joining me to talk about it is Blue Jays catcher Alejandro Kirk. Alejandro, you managed to cross the plate tonight. You guys delivered. What does this moment feel like?
We're just having fun. It's not easy to do it here, but thank God we got the win and we're going to the next round. I'm very proud of our team.
Now, this team was under 500 back in May. You stormed out to first place, and in the last week of the season, you somewhat took the team on your back, your first ever Grand Slam you produced in this series. Does it mean more to be able to do it against the Yankees?
You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we got a great team, and I feel very proud. I don't like to talk about me, but everybody do his job, and thank God we're going to the championship series.
Thank you very much, Alejandro. Congratulations. So if you look around the clubhouse tonight, Omar, you can see the party's been going for some time, and then it looks like they're going to get a team picture out on the field inside Yankee Stadium. We talked to Trey Yusavage, who stunned Jays fans with only his fourth major league start. He told me the feeling was unbelievable as there was spraying champagne in this room, and I got to say, a lot of it got on me. We'll be here for the duration of the night, but for now, I'll have to throw it back to you inside.
They did an incredible job and an immense amount of pride right across this country. Sean, thank you so much. Enjoy the celebrations. And turning now to breaking news in the Middle East tonight, Donald Trump revealing Israel and Gaza have both signed off on the first phase of a peace plan. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malvin joins us now. And Joy, the announcement was made on Truth Social late this evening, but there were strong signals something was imminent even before that. What can you tell us about that moment?
Omar, it was pretty dramatic. The U.S. president, during a press conference, was handed a note from the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, announcing a peace deal in the Middle East was close and that he needed to approve a Truth Social post so he could announce the deal first.
We're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly.
Hurrying out of that meeting, President Trump announced on Truth Social, "I'm very proud Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line." What the president called the first steps towards an everlasting peace. and that all parties will be treated fairly. President Trump says he is considering traveling to the Middle East as soon as this weekend. For Israelis, it's a huge victory. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying he'll convene the government on Thursday to approve the deal and invited Donald Trump to deliver a speech at the Knesset in Jerusalem. Netanyahu tweeting tonight, "It's a great day, and with God's help, we will bring them all home." For the families of the hostages, it's an end to 2 years of agony. For those in Gaza, it's an enormous relief. The loss of life and utter devastation of homes and neighborhoods. Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey have all been involved, but many questions remain. Will Hamas give up its weapons? How quickly will the hostages be released? An Israeli spokesman says it could be as soon as this weekend. And how many Palestinian prisoners will be exchanged? And just how will this all unfold? But tonight, both sides are optimistic this agreement could lead to an end to the war. Omar?
All right, Joy, thank you for this tonight. And late tonight, Prime Minister Carney congratulated Donald Trump for his leadership and thanked Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey for supporting the negotiations. After years of intense suffering, he wrote, peace finally feels attainable. And Global Affairs Canada is calling for the release of 6 Canadians who were detained by Israel after trying to deliver aid to Gaza.
We are the 6 Canadian citizens aboard the Conscience. If you are seeing this video, we've been attacked at sea and abducted by the Israeli forces.
The activists were on board a flotilla intercepted by Israeli forces this morning, a little over 200 kilometers off the coast of Gaza. They were carrying food and medical supplies to the war-torn region. 2 of the activists are from Toronto, 1 a doctor from Montreal, and 3 others are from Newfoundland and Labrador. On the same day, the Prime Minister returned to Ottawa after his face-to-face with Donald Trump yesterday. The U.S. Commerce Secretary is making headlines for dismissing any prospect of a comprehensive auto deal with Canada or the kind of free trade regime North America has been used to. CTV's senior political correspondent Michael Couture on the reaction and what else came up in that Washington meeting.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
Very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A source with knowledge of the discussions in the Oval Office yesterday confirms reviving the Keystone XL pipeline was raised between the 2 leaders. The extension would bring Alberta crude into the U.S. It was in the context of more energy cooperation between the 2 countries, but was also linked to relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
South Bow is now the proponent of the project, and while the Canadian company isn't privy to conversations between the governments, a spokesperson tells CTV News, quote, South Bow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. While a pipeline may be possible, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is dismissing the prospect of an auto deal with Canada. Sources say at a Eurasia Group summit, Lutnick said the Americans could continue buying auto parts from Canada, but that's about it.
Auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. On Parliament Hill, Opposition Leader Pierre Poilievre called out the Prime Minister for not getting a deal in D.C. and promising more investment in the U.S.
Mr. President, you have been warned. If you put in another tariff, he's going to give you yet another $1 trillion. This is the tough negotiator that we hired?
We have the best deal with the Americans. And the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal because we...
At that same Eurasia Group summit where Lutnick made the comments about the auto sector, Carney said there will be some bilateral deals alongside CUSMA, as there currently are, adding it's just one of the realities of these negotiations. Omar.
All right, Michael Couture in Ottawa, where the Liberal government is changing its approach to its controversial border bill by splitting it in 2. But critics say the change in strategy isn't changing their mind about some key concerns. CTV's Abigail Beeman explains.
The motion is deemed adopted.
The Liberal government takes another stab at its border bill.
Putting forward a second bill that carves out the more contentious elements of Bill C2 will enable us to get swifter passage.
The original C2 saw pushback from opposition and more than 300 groups worried about overreach.
This was their signature response to pressures and requests from the U.S. government to improve the situation at our border, and they got it so wrong, so badly right off the bat that the ministers basically had to use a mulligan and a do-over.
The new C-12 gets rid of 3 contentious elements. It removes the expansion of Canada Post's ability to search mail, no new restrictions on cash transactions over $10,000 to fight money laundering, and no expansion of what's known as lawful access, giving police more powers.
Feels like some of the chaos of the Trump White House, I think, is bleeding into how Prime Minister Carney's government is introducing legislation in Canada.
Because here's where it gets complicated. The original bill and its controversial clauses won't disappear, but still move separately through the legislative process.
C2 will still continue with the other elements, including lawful access, which I'm quite committed to.
Leaving critics saying their criticisms aren't truly addressed.
It's concerning to me, both the lack of coherence, but also that the government still thinks it's a good idea.
While the parts impacting migrants remain in both versions, with many still raising the alarm about new powers to cancel or suspend immigration documents.
It's concerning that the government is trying to basically ram this through as quickly as possible. And, this will come at great cost to a lot of the most vulnerable folks in the country.
Tonight, that diverse coalition of 300-plus groups tells CTV News it's still calling for the old bill to be repealed and the new one, too, saying they're both part and parcel of the same problem. Omar?
Abigail, thank you. A Manitoba judge has stayed all charges in a Winnipeg sexual assault case against former fashion mogul Peter Nygard. But as CTV's Alex Carper reports, his legal troubles are far from over.
A Manitoba judge found Peter Nygard's right to a fair trial was violated by police who failed to retain records related to allegations dating back over 3 decades. Nygard was charged in 2023 after a woman came forward alleging he sexually assaulted her during a visit to his Winnipeg warehouse in 1993. The complainant spoke with RCMP at her home in Vancouver about a week after the alleged assault. Court documents say she didn't want to press charges. In 2020, she decided to come forward, and Winnipeg police launched an investigation.
Obviously, he's satisfied with the outcome.
Jerry Wiebe is the lawyer for the 84-year-old former fashion mogul. She filed a motion last month to stay the charges, arguing the failure by police to keep records of the complainant's first interaction with officers undercut Nygard's right to a fair trial. Judge Mary Kate Harvey said his right to a fair trial was, quote, substantially prejudiced, going on to say, I am satisfied this is one of the clearest of cases warranting a stay of proceedings.
There is a fundamental unfairness to an accused where the evidence of what was said back then isn't available to them.
Judge Harvey said significant changes are needed in the categorization and storage of police reports and statements when it comes to historical allegations.
This is a very good decision overall. This is important for the integrity of our system.
One trauma therapist who has advocated for victims of Nygard is worried about the message this sends to other survivors of sexual assault.
Why would I put myself through this? They might be thinking I'm better off just keeping this to myself.
Nygard is already serving an 11-year sentence for 4 counts of sexual assault in Ontario. He also faces sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the United States for sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Turning to other news, a Toronto hospital has performed Canada's first ever transplant by reviving a heart that had stopped beating from a donor who had died. It's a procedure that could save even more lives and gives hope to those on an organ wait list. Here's CTV's Heather Wright.
And this is a letter from the doctor.
Robbie Sharon was just 40 years old when he died last year from a brain bleed doctors couldn't stop. His sudden death was a shock, but his parents were hopeful their son's legacy would continue through organ donation. But initially, they were told no.
I broke down. I said, no, it can't be.
Robbie was an ineligible donor in Canada because he wasn't brain dead. Here, hearts are only typically donated after brain death, where the heart continues to beat after the patient is declared deceased. The technology to keep a heart viable after it stops beating exists, but Canada didn't have it. In the end, Robbie was able to donate his heart, but it went to a recipient in the United States.
It's a legacy. It's something that will go on for generations to come now. From this point forward, Canada now has that technology and is working saving lives as we speak. And it all started with Robbie.
Last month, doctors at Toronto General Hospital were able to perform the surgery that would have kept Robbie's heart in Canada. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating, a first in this country.
This is a vulnerable time for a heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Doctors believe this could increase the number of heart transplants by 30%, helping the nearly 1 million Canadians living with heart failure.
It looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain-dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up.
So I hear 5 seconds later, gunshots.
Why police opened fire on 2 dogs in Montreal. Montreal police shot 2 dogs after a woman was attacked near a garage. Police say the woman was walking past the garage when the door opened and 3 dogs ran out and lunged at her. She was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The person responsible for the dogs was also injured trying to stop the attack and gave officers permission to put the dogs down. In Nova Scotia, police say no human remains have been found during recent searches for 4-year-old Jack and 6-year-old Lily Sullivan. The 2 siblings were reported missing from their Lansdowne Station home on May 2nd. There are no more searches planned unless new information comes in. It has been more than 2 weeks since an Alberta boy went missing while camping with his family. While the official search was called off last week, civilians are now scouring the area in hopes of finding him. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee.
That's a huge area.
Each step deliberate, every movement purposeful. Mike Hassel scans for the faintest signs of disturbance.
I'm kind of going down the pathway of least resistance, figuring, well, where a little child go.
The child he is looking for is 6-year-old Darius McDougall from Lethbridge, Alberta. He went missing while on a camping trip with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area more than 2 weeks ago, wearing these clothes.
This is my second time out here, trying to do what I can.
The area where Darius went missing is very rugged. As you can see, this is incredibly tough terrain to navigate, even for the most experienced people.
Slippery as well. And you also got other factors such as the wildlife, like bears are high so there's high chance of bears.
All reasons the public was asked to stay away while professionals combed the area. But after 11 days of searching by hundreds of volunteers from Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, with no signs of Darius, the formal search was called off and the area reopened. Authorities say it's unlikely that Darius survived. As the RCMP continues its investigation, a community of civilian searchers grows on Facebook. Many, just like Hassel, heading out on their own.
This whole area was searched rigorously with helicopters, infrared, like the works. But it never hurts just to go over it again and just see what I can do.
And Hassel will continue to retrace more ground, steadfast in his effort to find Darius, saying he wants to bring hope, comfort, and closure to the child's family. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta.
Still ahead.
Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here.
Dolly Parton sets the record straight on rumors about her health.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5.
Country music legend Dolly Parton is breaking her silence over concerns for her health, triggered by canceled shows and a social media post by her sister.
There's just a lot of rumors flying around, but I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay. And I'm not ready to die yet.
Parton posted this video while on a set working on commercials. She said she was dealing with some issues linked to her husband's death in March when she neglected her own health, but is now getting treatment. This comes as her sister Frida apologized today for sparking concern with a recent Facebook post for prayers for Daldi's health. And Portuguese soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo is the sport's first billionaire. The 40-year-old's bank account received a big boost earlier this year when he re-signed with Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr in a deal worth an estimated $400 million US. He also has lucrative endorsement deals with multiple companies, including Nike and Armani. Still ahead, how a Cape Breton man pays the ultimate tribute to popular 80s movie Back to the Future. A Cape Breton man is turning heads with a homemade replica of a famous Hollywood car. The old Pontiac Fiero was converted into the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Here's CTV's Ryan McDonald.
It's a vehicle that doesn't just make you feel nostalgic, it almost seems like it could quite literally take you back in time.
My little fellas and I just one day said, let's do something fun for Halloween.
The plan was to do the best they could to recreate the time-traveling DeLorean from the Back to the Future movies. A few years ago, John Nolan of Catalone, Nova Scotia, purchased this old Pontiac Fiero.
Like the DeLorean, it's kind of got the same shape, same appeal. It's a two-seater, rear-mounted engine.
Then he and his young sons got to work, giving it a new aluminum paint job and decorating it with whatever they could find in thrift stores and at the curbs during the annual heavy garbage pickup.
And just made a little collection, put it all together, put it out by the road, and it was a big hit. Lots of people stopped, a lot of smiles.
Not only does it look ready for liftoff after dark, but it has all the bells and whistles that any time traveler might need.
We had to make that because no time machine is complete without its hoverboard. And we just used an old snowboard. My little fellas painted that.
Only recently, the creator of this makeshift DeLorean decided to sell it to another fan of all things retro who lives here in Membertou.
The sales pitch was I told the fellow that it was only used from time to time, so I don't think that I was stretching the truth too much with it.
In the end, it's a nice homage to a classic movie.
I remember going to the theater with my father, and I just didn't think I'd be building one and put it in my front yard years later.
From 1985 to 2025, it's a journey that took this man back to the future and beyond. Ryan McDonald, CTV News on the Membertou First Nation.
Used from time to time. They did a great job. That's a snapshot of this Wednesday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night and see you tomorrow.
Canada's #1 newscast for excellence in journalism.
We begin tonight with breaking news.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina, winner of the Canadian Screen Award for Best National Newscast. Watch weeknights at 11.